Interpretation of graphs for chemical system in dynamic equilibrium. We have talked about the factors that affect chemical equilibrium and explained how that works using Le Chatelier's principle. Now let's see how it looks like in terms of graphs. One of the factors that will disturb a state of equilibrium is a change in temperature. In this instance, we are looking at an increase in temperature. How does an increase in temperature affect chemical equilibrium? Well, let's take a look at this reaction. We have hydrogen gas plus iodine gas, and then the reaction is exothermic. Well, the forward reaction to be specific. The forward reaction is exothermic, so the reverse reaction will be endothermic. So if you increase the temperature in this reaction, what would happen? Which reaction is favored? Is it the forward reaction or is it the reverse reaction? Well, first things first, the forward reaction is exothermic, right? And then the reverse reaction should therefore be endothermic. So an increase in temperature favors endothermic as it decreases temperature by absorbing energy. So when there's an increase in temperature in this instance, take a look at the graph of rate of reaction. The reverse reaction, which is shown by the red dotted lines, it shoots up, right? As you can clearly see. But the forward reaction, which is exothermic, it also goes up, right? As you can clearly see on the graph, the blue line, it is also going up. So how do we explain that? Why does the rate of forward reaction also go up when there's an increase in temperature? But we have been saying all the time that an increase in temperature favors endothermic, of which in this case is a reverse reaction. Well, think about rate of reaction. When the temperature increases, we are going to have more molecules with enough or sufficient kinetic energy, and the rate of reaction will therefore increase. There is no way where we talked about whether that reaction needs to be exothermic or needs to be endothermic. So an increase in temperature does increase the rate of reaction of both endothermic and exothermic. But in chemical equilibrium, when there's an increase in temperature, the rate of the endothermic reaction will go up higher than the rate of the exothermic reaction, right? So when there's a decrease in temperature, well, we are going to look at that very soon. Now let's just take a look at the concentration before we talk about a decrease in temperature. Right, the concentration, take a look. So you can clearly see from the graph that the reverse reaction is favored more than the forward reaction is favored, because we can both agree that they are both favored this reaction, but one more than the other. So the concentration of HI at T2, right, it is going down because the reverse reaction is favored more than the forward. So HI, the concentration will go down. It's getting used up more than hydrogen gas and iodine gas are getting converted to HI. So that is why it goes down. And the concentration of hydrogen and iodine gas goes up. Now let's take a look at this reaction where we have a decrease in temperature. This reaction that we have is endothermic. Well, the forward reaction. So this is endothermic and this is exothermic. So there's been a decrease in temperature. So according to Le Chatelier's principle, the exothermic reaction should be favored so that it increases the temperature by releasing energy. But according to rate of reactions, the rate of reaction of both endo and exo should go down because we are going to have less molecules with sufficient kinetic energy. And then when we look at the graph of rate versus time, that is clearly demonstrated. So take a look at this. The forward reaction is the solid line and the reverse reaction is the dotted line. So the forward reaction does go down, as you can clearly see, right? It shoots down. And then the reverse reaction goes down, but it goes down just slightly. It is above the reverse. They both go down, as you can clearly see. But the reverse reaction is above the forward reaction. So this is what you expect to see when there is a decrease in temperature. Both exo and endo, both forward and reverse, will go down, but one more than the other. So when there's a decrease in temperature, the endothermic reaction will go down below the exothermic reaction. And then here, where we were talking about an increase in temperature, they both go up when there's an increase in temperature, but endothermic reaction will be above exothermic reaction, so that it decreases that temperature, according to Le Chatelier's principle. Increasing pressure. Right. Rate of reaction. If we increase pressure, both forward and reverse are favored, in the sense that more molecules will collide because you are in a much smaller space because we have increased the pressure, right? So rate of reaction says both rate of reactions should go up. That's what rate of reaction says. But Le Chatelier's principle says that one should be favored more than the other, clearly, right? And if there's an increase in pressure, which one should be favorable? The reaction that leads to less moles of gas. So let's take a look. On the left hand side, we have 3 moles of gas, right? We are calculating the balancing coefficients. And then on the right hand side, we have 2. Okay, so when there's an increase in pressure, we're expecting the forward reaction to be favored. The forward reaction will be favored because it leads to less number of moles of gas. Right, so let's take a look at our graphs and see if that is what is happening. So clearly, the forward reaction is favored more than the reverse, because at time T2, you can see that the forward reaction shoots up, but the reverse reaction, it also goes up, which is in line with collision theory, right? So the collision theory and Le Chatelier's principle, they're equally as important, but our reactions are able to satisfy both of them, because clearly there's been an increase in pressure. Both rate of reactions should increase because collision theory, but one should increase more than the other because Le Chatelier's principle. So the forward shoots up, the reverse reaction goes up, but the forward is above the reverse reaction because according to Le Chatelier's, the forward that is leading to less number of moles of gas should be favored more than the other. So right, that is consistent. But this looks like that case we had with temperature, when there's an increase in temperature, and both were favored. So how are you going to know what is the change that is being made in the exam if a change in temperature and a change in pressure leads to the same consequence, as far as the rate of reaction versus time graph is concerned? Well, you will be given the restrictions. The question might say the volume remains the same, the temperature remains the same. So in the exam, you're going to be given enough information in order for you to decide which change was made. So forward reaction is favored. So the concentration of SO3, we can see that it shoots up here at time T2, as you can clearly see. Okay, and then now let's look at the concentration of O2 and the concentration of SO2. Something is happening there. They both shoot up, right? And then they're shooting up at the same time, the concentration of SO3 is going up. So at the time T2, it seems like everything goes up for some time, but it is not really everything going up for some time. They're going up because we are looking at the concentration. So when we increase the pressure, now we have more concentration, right? So the number of moles, they're not going up, but it looks like they are because the concentration is going up. But this is a consequence of increasing the pressure. So O2 and SO2, they slightly shoot up and then they go down. This is how it looks like when there's an increase in pressure, right? So you can see that what we have here is slightly different from what we have when there's an increase in temperature as far as the concentration of the reactants are concerned. So that is another way you can use to distinguish between an increase in temperature and an increase in pressure. Increase in concentration. Right, so we don't care about the enthalpy here because we're only looking at the concentration. So let's take a look at our graph and see what has increased. Okay, so it looks like the concentration of CO, carbon monoxide, shoots up, right? And then the concentration of chlorine gas goes down, as we can see here, right? It goes down. And then the concentration of COCl2 goes up. So what is happening? Well, the concentration of carbon monoxide shoots up alone, right? While that of Cl2 goes down and that of COCl2 goes up. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This goes up all of a sudden, right? And then when that goes up, this goes down and this goes up. So what happened here? And then the rate of reaction versus time, we can see that the forward reaction is favored. So if the forward reaction is favored, how does the concentration of carbon monoxide go up? It goes up because the concentration has been increased. We have added more carbon monoxide in the reaction vessel, so to say, flask, whatever you are using for that reaction. So this is how an increase in concentration looks like. One of the reactants will all of a sudden shoots up. The other one goes down, as you can clearly see, and then the product goes up. That tells you that the concentration of one of the reactants has been added, or one of the products, depending on what is happening in that case.